Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bearded Fortech. If you're new here, welcome. Please consider hitting subscribe. I want to talk to you guys about the quality of building vehicles nowadays. So without further ado, let's get into it. The build quality of vehicles nowadays, in my opinion, is garbage. Okay, you get a $100,000 F-250 Power Stroke and it's only meant to last you 5 years. There's something wrong with that. Somebody had commented on one of my recall videos saying that we're reliving the Malaise Era. And I got to thinking, Malaise Era, what is that? So, Google, okay, Malaise Era. And the more and more I went down this rabbit hole, the more and more I think this person was right. And if you don't know what the Malaise Era is, in automotive history, it refers to a period from roughly the year 1970 to the mid-1980s, early to mid-80s. And it's characterized by Malaise, poor products, and generalized industry unease, profound adjustments as the United States automotive industry attempted to adapt new demands for more fuel-efficient, safe, environmentally responsible products. We're going to touch base on that. It's often said began with regulations that coincided with the result from the 1973 oil crisis. All this kind of ties in, you know what I mean? Look at 2020. Anything basically 2020, 2021 and newer is not that great, man. You got brand new products that don't work. You got so many recalls on so many vehicles. That, along with workers, some want to do their job, some don't. It's just kind of lazy. So we get brand new parts out of the box that don't work. The craftsmanship's just not there anymore. And engineers actually do design some really cool stuff. Then the bean counters come along and say, let's save 6 cents per vehicle and do it this way. They're trying to meet the demands for the EPA and the government. I get it. It's all plain and simple right here. And this is on Wikipedia. And what they were trying to do is focus relatively on fuel-efficient, large, personal luxury cars and small compact cars, contrasting with the well-accepted but fuel-efficient ponton and muscle car design. The era also saw major encroachments on foreign manufacturers in the American automobile market, especially Japanese automakers posing a threat to the big three, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. When it ended is debated, some say 1983 or 1984. So the history of it, or the cause of it, was coined in 2008 by jalopnik writer Phil Greendon, pen name Merle Martin, article reviewing the 1977 Ford Granada. The use of Malaise is believed to be originated from President Jimmy Carter's 1979 speech, a crisis of confidence, popularly known as Malaise speech, in which he discussed the oil crisis and a wider crisis of confidence within the United States. The Malaise era began in regular use since the early 2010s and has been widely cited by news agencies and automotive sites, including Car and Driver. So this is where it gets interesting, I guess you could say. So we all know the Power Stroke. We all know gasoline vehicles have catalytic converters on them. Beginning in 2024 with the Lincoln Nautilus, it now has a gasoline particulate filter, which means anything 2025 is going to have a gasoline particulate filter. That's already a thing overseas. 2011, we saw the 6.7 liter Power Stroke make its debut, and along with it came a DPF, a diesel particulate filter, where you had to have DEF fluid to it. This is the manufacturer trying to keep up with the mandates. It's all circling back around now. At the close of 1970, President Richard Nixon signed a series of amendments in the Clean Air Act. The amendments established the National Ambient Air Quality Standards, New Source Performance Standards, and the National Emission Standards of Hazardous Air Pollutants, and overall significantly strengthened federal enforcement authority, all toward achieving aggressive air pollution reduction goals. The amendments mandated a 90% reduction in hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxides in 1975 relative to the 1970 standards, and instructed the Environmental Protection Agency, formally founded just that month, to implement these standards. So you see here, for example, the 350 cubic inch L48 engine of the 1971 Chevy Corvette was rated at 270 horsepower, but the identical engine was rated at 200 horsepower in 1972. However, emission-based cuts resulted in notable real power losses starting in 1971 model year. It's the catalytic converter. So I guess what I'm getting at, and there's the crude oil prices. You can go to Wikipedia and see all this. What I'm getting at here is the more and more I thought about what this gentleman commented on my video, I think we are reliving this era where it was that whole 1970 to 1983, 1984 of just garbage products that were put out. They're trying to manufacture vehicles to the demands of the EPA and government mandated things, and they're trying to get them out real quick. And you have engineers designing things, but then you have the bean counters wanting to come in and make that really cool design garbage. Just being blunt with you. Here we are, 2020, 2021, the same thing starts to happen. Used car prices went up, new cars were getting made on the assembly line. A lot of parts were on back order. They were made cheaply. They were made by workers that don't care. There's new government mandates that were in place, so now all these manufacturers got to scramble and try to come up and meet these mandates. So if you think about it, if it started in 2020, well, let's just say the 1970 all the way to 1984, that's 14 years. Say this started in 2020. We're in 2024. We still got another 10 years of this. It's really hard on technicians and people who want to work on their own vehicle. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Do you think we're living in this era again? Do you think we're repeating history with the Clean Air Act? And I mean, if a catalytic converter was enough. I got papers flying around, sorry. Catalytic converter was enough. A DPF and an EGR, the EGR cools the engine, the exhaust gases down, but then it gets soot inside the DPF and you need to have heat to do that. So it's basically regurgitating everything. So it's not really that helpful, if you ask me, because you're cooling it down on one side and then you got to heat it to get rid of it on another side. Now the catalytic converter, okay, yeah, you do lose power, but it does turn all the bad exhaust gases into water at the tailpipe. I get it. But let me know what you guys think down here in the comments section below. And as always, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next one.